And welcome out here to Cazalys Arena at Palmerston, where we've got the blockbuster between the Magpies and the Darwin Buffaloes. Darwin Buffaloes are in fact the home side. This is the round 14 clash. I'd like to welcome my fellow commentator, Stuart Davies.
Gray, how are you going? The wind's just blown up through the headphones here, but yeah, an unusual one. Palmerston's home ground, but Buffalo's home game, but should be a great contest, I should think.
Very important game for the Magpies. They're half a game out of the top five and with a very poor percentage. So I'm sure Josh Heath and his Brains Trust would have worked hard on their side during the week to get some goals on the board and, more importantly, a win.
Yeah, well, that's right. They were the pace setters really early in the season, weren't they? But fallen in a hole over the last 4 or 5 weeks and really need a win to get their season back on track.
Good news, as I talk over the siren, good news for the Magpies that Eddie Betts is in the side today, number 18. So is Cameron Peterson, who had a run there with Melbourne and North Melbourne in the old AFL days. So they've got a fair side. They're without, his name escapes me, the former Geelong player.
Varco.
Travis Varco is not playing. But I'm sure he'll be, Josh Heath, that I mentioned earlier, will be looking for maximum efforts from all of those players because they really need to win this game and get back on track.
Yeah, the other big out for Palmerston is Mensch, of course, and he'll be missed as well. But Ashton Ham's in the side, so plenty of experience in the side, as you said, Gray.
And so, of course, on the Buffalo side, Mitch Robinson's not playing. I don't know whether he's injured or just having a rest, which will be a bit of a loss for them, but they're going pretty well. They took St Mary's right to the wire last week, and so they'll be keen to continue that under their coach Cameron Stokes.
Yeah, that's right, and Matthew Campbell also out from last week's game, but pretty good side. They got Thomas Bolch back in this week, who was supposed to play last week but missed with illness, had COVID I think, so had to miss the game. So they've got a pretty strong side in, and I was talking to a couple of their assistant coaches before the game. They're pretty confident going in.
Yeah, so it's certainly winning form is good form as far as the Buffaloes are concerned, and even more so with the Magpies. Interesting one there too, Stewie, number 39 for the Buffaloes, Daniel Stafford. Of course, he transferred to Palmerston a couple of seasons ago, and now he's back with his Buffaloes. So that was done very quietly, I would say.
Yeah, he snuck in for his first game for the season last week against St Mary's, and was a pretty imposing figure up forward. He's one of the best kicks I've ever seen. I think he just pretty casual, but kicks a long way and straight. So he'll be an important player for them tonight as well.
And we're just about to kick off, and I'll hand it over to Stewie for the live stuff.
So it's umpire Emma Stark holding the ball up. Will be in charge for the first ball up. Chris Atkinson doing the ruck work for Darwin, and we're underway here at Cazalys Arena. Atkinson wins the hit out, but no effective clearance yet. Jared Stokes got a toe poke to it. Hand pass comes in. Atkinson's in there again over the ball. Just couldn't handle it cleanly on that occasion, and now it's Stokes in there again. He gets dragged out of it, and the ball spills free. Treacy for Palmerston takes them inside forward 50, but Betts near the boundary line hooks it back. It's going close to the goal square here. A marking contest, and that's a good mark taken in the forward pocket for Palmerston, and it's Orlando Turner who's taken that mark in the right forward pocket. Comes around on the left foot now, trying to bring it back, but that's not coming back hardly at all. It's just floating across the face of goal and thumped through by Will Robinson of the Buffaloes for a behind.
So they're on the board early, Palmerston. I think that's the way they wanted to go, and unfortunately that around the corner kick went askew.
So Darwin out of defence, bring it to the near side of the ground. Oh, a huge leap there by Ryan Wharf. Got a hand to it, couldn't control the ball, and he jumped on the shoulders there of Liam Whelan, who's looks pretty sure might have actually got a knee in the head or something as well, because he's on the ground still holding his head, and not moving too quickly, not in a hurry to get to his feet.
Didn't look all that flash. There's a big leap though by Wharf, of course the former NTFL rising star, who's playing on his beloved wing again, but certainly went up high, and you're right, Stuart, I think his knee has contacted young Whelan's, back of Whelan's head, and the good news is he's just getting up.
So Tyrone Bean waiting there to replace him on the field. He makes his way off. Let's hope he's okay and can return to the field, Gray.
Yes, he'll have a drink of water and a bit of a rest, I think, is certainly the medical opinion.
So the boundary throw and big thump by Pedersen gets it down towards the 50 metre line. It's picked up in defence down there by Tanner Coulthard, but he got tackled over the boundary line and it'll be a boundary throw in. So right half forward for Palmerston. The ball's been in their forward half for the entirety of the 2.5 minutes of the game so far. Atkinson just takes that one out of the ruck contest and throws it on the boot, but Hams working back takes the intercept mark uncontested just forward of the centre wing, right in front of our position here. He chips along the boundary line and finds Stephen Lampton there. Lampton goes back to Hams as Buffaloes have flooded back, so there's not much room to go to forward of the ball here.
I was just going to say that, Stewie. He hadn't got all that many options, but he's found someone out here on the wing.
Yep, that's Lampton again. So just chipping it around, trying to pick some holes through the Buffaloes' defence here as Lampton just takes a bit off that one. And Waylon Davey in front couldn't take the mark, but Betts tidies up and gets the kick across here to centre half forward where Treacy takes the mark. And he's been a good player for Palmerston all year. He's looking short as well, and he finds Waylon Davey a couple of metres closer to goal, and he'll be kicking for goal with the player on the mark about 40 metres out, pretty much directly in front.
Very important kick this for Waylon and for Palmerston.
So kick on the way, looks pretty good. Players on the line like it. It's gone straight through the middle, and that's, as you said, an important one for Palmerston. And Waylon Davey, young fella, played a handful of games for Palmerston, and for him to get in the action early and get the first goal on the board be tremendous for his confidence.
Yes, he must certainly had some big raps, Waylon. He's only a young fellow. I think he'd be 18.
Yep.
Possibly even younger, but certainly one of the bright lights out here at Palmerston.
Yeah, just looking here, 16 he is. So
16, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But he certainly showed no problems at all. Heaps of poise straight through the middle.
So a great start for Palmerston. They've controlled the ball really in the early stages, and Darwin just haven't quite settled yet as we look for the restart. And Big Pedersen again gets his hand to the ball, knocks it forward. Guthrie couldn't control it as it spills out to the near side, and Palmerston going forward again. Waylon Davey out there was the intended target of Nason, but the ball floated out of bounds on the full. Pendlebury receives from that kick in and chips the ball into the centre corridor. Mark was claimed there. I'm not sure it was actually taken by Aaron Stokes, but he had enough time to get around the player in front of him and find Timmy Eldridge on the outer side, and now they've got some run in their legs going down the outer side of the ground, and the pass inboard has found Coco Nicky inside the forward 50, and he doesn't look too interested in passing off. Gray going back and...
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised at that. He's on a sharp angle, jammed right up against the boundary line there, so Coco will have to, I'd say, use the drop punt or perhaps even run around corners with his wrong foot, the left foot. We'll see what he does. He's gone the drop punt.
So it's fallen short and across the goal. It might be a mark down there. It's being claimed by Bolch, but not paid, and play on's the call as a scramble of players all over the ball. Bolch underneath just pushes it out to the advantage of a teammate, and it's going to be a Palmerston free kick in the back pocket.
Yes, they look like they're ready to go, the Magpies. They've certainly had most of the attack. In fact, this is the Buffaloes' first foray forward. And we've been going, about 8 minutes?
Yeah, that's right. So ball on the outer side of the ground. Again, a bit untidy out there, and there's a whistle on the play. It's a Palmerston free kick, and this time it's Kobe Priest who looks to go short, and they've got Treacy there again getting a few touches early in the game. He stays close to the boundary line, but just tumbles over the line in front of Big Cam Pedersen out there, and it'll be a boundary throw in once again. So Pedersen doing the ruck work early. Looks like he's switched forward now.
Yes, both sides have got plenty of players around the ball, so it's a bit of a scramble out there.
So Buff's working it through the hands here. Pendlebury gets the hand pass inboard there to Robinson, who his hand pass missed the target, and now Palmerston just pounce on that loose ball. Treacy again gets caught with the ball, gets the hand pass out. Not too clean in the possession at the moment. Nason in there gets a toe poke out towards the boundary line, but Eldridge comes in. He gets tackled. Play on's the call from umpire Mark Noonan, lurking in the vicinity, but eventually it's wrapped up underneath and it'll be a ball up on the outer side of the ground.
Yes, there's not much happening. It's a bit of a tight fit out there. The players crammed up around the ball.
So ball on the ground once again. There's a free kick being found here for a push. It's going to go Darwin's way on this occasion, and looks like that'll be Hassan Almate Watkins, who goes short around the boundary line to Pendlebury. Pendlebury goes long inside forward 50, looking for Bolch down there. Got his hands to the ball, got his player out of the way and his hands to the ball, but couldn't complete the mark. Jared Stokes in there, shrugs off one tackle, gets the hand pass out wide under pressure, and again Palmerston close in on the Darwin forwards and not really giving them any room to move whatsoever as they try to work it out through the hands now, and quick kick out of defence by Niawali for Palmerston, and Betts just coming in late, read the drop of the ball beautifully and took a nice mark. Now he chips short around the boundary line, and the big fella Miles out there for Palmerston couldn't control it, and it's out of bounds for another boundary throw in.
Interesting one with Almate Watkins from the Buffaloes. He's more often than not a permanent forward, but they've decided to play him off half-back this year as a running half-back, and it seems to have worked very well.
Yeah, that's right. I remember one game out here early last season, he kicked 7 or 8 goals, and I thought he was a key, and then he got injured and missed the rest of the season.
That's right, he
yeah.
In fact, it was out here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So Guthrie at the bottom of the pack fishes the hand pass out there, and again Josiah Farah gets it back, and now just under plenty of pressure, just working it through the hands, and eventually it's turned over, and Coulthard takes the intercept mark for Buffs. He goes short inside 50. Coco Nicky again decided not to have the shot, just lobbed it up there for the big fella Daniel Stafford, and he got on the end of that. It was a beautifully weighted kick in between a couple of Palmerston defenders, and Big Stafford just wrapped his hands around that as it fell into his preferred area.
Into his grasp, yeah. That's why he's in the side, Stewie. He's a big lump of a lad, and if he presents himself on a regular basis, it might be a long night for the Magpie backline.
So Stafford, that pretty casual approach, just chips at it, no problem whatsoever, straight through the middle, and yeah, he's as reliable a goal kicker as there is in the competition. Great.
Very casual, as you mentioned, way of kicking, but it's normally fairly accurate. I know he had an off day in the CAFL Grand Final earlier this year for Souths when he kicked, I think, 1-5, but he is a very reliable kicker, as you said.
And yeah, and a long kick, he can kick him from outside 50 without much problem. So that one was a lot closer, of course, in the right spot, and good use of the ball going inside 50 by Darwin on that occasion. For the first time, really, they had a bit of space to look and deliver the ball. So they tightened that scoreboard up, and just a 1 point margin as we hit the 11-minute mark of the first quarter. Pedersen and Atkinson again. Pedersen gets his hand to the ball, but first hands on it was Almate Watkins, but he got tackled and the ball spilled out. Now Guthrie picks it up from the bottom of the pack and runs out to the side, kicks forward. Treacy there just couldn't get to it before the ball bounced, and now Bradley Stokes takes possession, gets caught with it, and the ball spills out, stays inside the boundary line down there. Plenty of Palmerston players if they can get their hands on it, but they're under plenty of pressure again. Treacy gets the hand pass out. Now it comes back inboard. There's a free kick paid here. Jared Stokes looking to take the advantage. He has a bounce, loses control, gets it back, and then hand passes over to Cassidy. Cassidy goes wide to the outer side of the ground where Coco Nicky presents himself. Hand passes over the top here to Kevin Moroney. Moroney goes inside 50, and Big Stafford again out on the lead, and another beautiful pass going inside, and this time we'll be kicking from just about on 50, just outside 50 I think, so it'll test what I've been saying about his ability to kick long goals as well, Gray, but another good build-up and a good lead, and like you said, got out and presented himself, and yes, there was no stopping that.
It's going to be a big night for the Palmerston backline. They're going to have to stick right on Big Steph, and he's thumped it long.
And straight once again. Yeah, that's a beautiful finish once again, and gee, looks on, doesn't he? He's got his hands on a couple now, and put them both straight through the middle.
I'm just looking at his immediate opponent, Stewie. Can you pick up his number there?
Yeah, I'll just look as he goes back, and looks like it might be Adam Parry back there.
Adam Parry?
Yeah, might be a bit of an outsize. But that time it wasn't the size that was the factor. He got out on the lead, got out in front, and couldn't get up to him. But
the other factor was the way the ball came in too. Beautifully kicked to hit him right on the chest.
That's right.
So they're very hard to stop for any backman.
So Darwin take the lead for the first time in this game. 2 straight goals to 1-1-7. And from the restart, Atkinson this time taps it to his feet, but it's all Palmerston there. It comes across to Pedersen, who kicks long down towards half forward, and that's a good mark in the hands by Josiah Farah. And Farah, about 60 metres from goal, looking for something short. He goes that way, and just thumped away as the attempt to mark on the second grab was unsuccessful. And now Stokes gets a hand pass up to Pendlebury. Pendlebury goes backwards and sideways, and he finds Holt Fitz out there, who's unusually deep in the back line. Tommy Clark now brings the ball around the outer wing, and Jared Stokes running onto it, looked to be held over the shoulder there, and that's the way umpire Kyan Everson saw it. So it's a free kick to Jared Stokes on the outer side of the ground. He's looking for something short around the boundary line, and he finds Bowles deep out on that half forward flank on the outer side of the ground. He's looking inboard and sees Thomas Clark there unmarked. He gave it off to Tyrone Bean, who hooks the ball in towards goal. It bounces short of Bolch down there, and he's got a couple of opponents, but none of them can keep it in play, and it's bundled over the boundary line for another throw-in.
Wasn't a particularly good kick then. I noticed that Big Stafford was one out with his opponent, but for some reason the Buffaloes went into the forward pocket, and of course it's gone out there for a throw-in. So we'll see what the result of this is, Stewie.
So Big Pedersen doing the ruck work, slips over the back. Plenty of bodies around the ball as it's picked up, hand passed across here to Holt Fitz, but didn't get much purchase on the kick, and it spills out into the pocket back there. Hand pass inboard by McNaughton, and Palmerston able to clear it out of defence and get it all the way down to the centre wing here, where it's taken by Cassidy. He got tackled as soon as he took possession of the ball, dives in there, might have taken the legs out I think, and Mark Noonan will pay that one all night, every night when they dive in and get the legs. So it's Stephen Lampton, the recipient of that free kick. He ball was touched by the player on the mark as he went to play on. Bradley Stokes in there just flicks it up to his teammate Robertson, and now Palmerston get it through the hands to Betts. Betts looking to chip it in short, but the Buffalo defenders were all over that one, and Sterling Mitchell just chipped in to take the intercept mark. He goes short to Pendlebury, who plays on straight away into the middle corridor, and he finds Bowles unattended at centre half back. He's got players running from behind, but wants something further afield, and now he's looking to switch to the outer side of the ground where he's got a runner up from the back pocket, and that's Tyrone Bean, who's got plenty of space and time, and chips the ball around the wing to Mitchell, who spilt the mark but had time to recover. Kicks inside 50. Gets past everyone there. Stafford just waiting at the back, falls into his lap, runs around, kicks it on the outside of the boot this time, and he's got his third grey out of the 3 goals that Buffaloes have kicked.
Well, you're right, Stewie. He was standing back minding his own business. And the ball just bounced into his hand. So Big Staff said, "Thank you very much. I'll have one of these," and slammed it through for the third goal. And he's having a night out.
He certainly is, and he's got a bit of a limp up there. I don't know what happened, but His opponent backed himself, got out in front and attacked the ball, but the bounce of the ball wasn't kind, and it was for Stafford, straight into his hands, and a walk-in goal. So after a promising start from Palmerston, it's been all Darwin in the last 8 or 10 minutes of this game.
And Stewie, talking about the Davey family earlier on, I see Elijah Davey is out there. He's only 15 years of age. I reckon he'd be Elwyn Froggy Davy's son, but I'll find out at quarter time.
So from the bounce, Pedersen thumps it forward again. Bowles is going to be first there for Buffaloes. He carries it back to the half-back area. Hand pass comes across. There's a whistle here. Might have been some late contact. And it is going to be a Darwin free kick to Patrick Bowles. Just backward of the centre square here for the Buffaloes. See the Buffs players lined up in front of us waiting to rotate onto the ground, and Bowles goes long and high just forward of the wing. Bolch gets in front, takes a nice mark on the second grab, controlled the ball well. He's swings around on the right foot now, goes long looking for Big Stafford down there in the marking contest. Palmerston got players back though, and the intercept mark was taken and chipped around the half-back line near the boundary line as Nason goes inboard to Turner. Turner goes backwards here to Kobe Priest, and they're just chipping it around the back half. Hams now goes straight up the middle of the ground and finds Callum Groves at half-back. So again looking to go short, going to be under pressure here as there's a number of Buffaloes players around. Bolch pinches that one and then kicks high inside forward 50. The ball spills out across half forward where it's worked out. Stafford's in there again, gets the hand pass back this time to captain Jared Stokes. Jared swings back onto the left foot, kicks towards goal, it falls just short, and some good defensive work by Ashton Hams. Got a fist to it and forced it through for a rush behind.
And just a reminder that you're watching AFL and T's coverage of the 22-23 NTFL TIO season, and we're live here from Cazalys Arena in Palmerston.
So Hams, who conceded the behind to take the kick in here, just looks short and finds Nason on the outer side of the ground, and again looking to chip short, and he does, and finds Priest. So Priest called to play on now. He's under pressure and
dropped the ball, I think.
Yep, Thomas Clark just jumped on that, pounced on that one. He was lurking in the area, manning up another opponent, and as soon as the play on call came, he was in there like a flash and laid the tackle, and the ball spilled out, and it was always going to be a free kick from that stage.
Seems to be a problem with the Palmerston side. They haven't got the leg speed that the Buffaloes have got, of course, and they're not running the ball enough. And Buffaloes have caught them out a couple of times, and this will be a very important goal in the shadows of quarter time.
Thomas Clark, the goal umpire doesn't move. It's straight through the middle once again, and yeah, some worrying signs here for Josh Heath and his Palmerston coaching team after, as I said, they look to be getting the jump early in the game, but now Darwin have kicked the last 4 goals of the game and stretched that lead out to 18 points.
Yes, and Thomas Clark, of course, the vice-captain of the side. He's the grandson of the great Eddie Clark, who played many, many games for the Darwin Buffaloes in the heyday in the 60s and 70s. So the family tradition has definitely been passed on to Thomas. Yeah,
he's really worked hard on his game. I think Thomas, a few years ago, he was just a dumpy little kid that trying to make his way in football, but he's worked hard, and he's a really important player for them now as Atkinson does the ruck work and then gets the clearance, and Kyle McBean swings the ball high inside forward 50. The ball's punched away from behind. Wally there under pressure gets a hand pass forward, but then got tackled. Play on the call as the advantage is taken, and Palmerston looking to switch it to the near side of the ground, and Lambton gets under this one and takes a nice mark. He's got players inside the square, but that's a terrible kick, and Armat Watkins says thanks very much and just thumps it back to the advantage of Coulthard here. Coulthard on the left drills it inside forward 50, but it's chopped off in defence by Hams, who switches to the outer side of the ground, and Wally out there takes that mark uncontested. He's looking to move the ball quickly. He's got players out wide, but they're reluctant to use the corridor, it seems, Palmerston, and happy to go short and try to work it up the ground. But they're running themselves into pressure here as Guthrie tries to break away from a couple of players, gets tackled eventually, got his hand pass straight up in the air to no one in particular, and the quick kick forward by Priest on the outer side of the ground goes to the advantage of Josiah Farrer, but he got bundled out of the way, and the hand pass comes across to Armat Watkins. Some clever work out there by Eldridge until he got caught with the ball and it spilled out, and that'll be a Cameron Guthrie free kick for Palmerston on the outer side of the ground. He goes short again, and he finds Orlando Turner, but not much closer to goal, and there's still a couple of kicks away as Turner goes long inside 50 now. Big leap, but Eddie Betts at the back of the pack just used all his experience and nudged his opponent out of the contest and took a nice mark.
Just going to say that, Stuart, used his experience, just had a little nudge about the ball within about 5 metres, and Eddie's just leaned his shoulder into his opponent and marked unopposed. So definitely some experience there from his AFL days.
So he's only about 20 metres out, no problem whatsoever, straight through the middle. So Eddie's on the board for the first time tonight, and a much needed goal by Palmerston as we approach quarter time, Gray.
Yes, they were starting to fall behind, mainly because, as I said, their lack of leg speed, but they actually ran the ball fairly well then, and then decided to go long, of course, into the forward line, and Eddie, using his experience, has brought up their second goal. So that's good news for the Palmerston and the Coaching Brains Trust.
Yeah, that's right. The long kick, get it in quickly. Well, when your teammates have got one-on-one opportunities, and gives them the best chance before the opposition can flood back, which they've allowed Darwin to do too much so far in this first quarter, I reckon.
Interestingly, all that good work started with their captain Eric Guthrie, of course, who tied for the Nichols medal last season. Yeah,
having another great season this year as Atkinson wins that hit out bowls at ground level, just struggling to control it, and now he gets wrapped up in the tackle, and he's going to be pinged for holding the ball, for dragging it in, and Ben Nason it is who will take the free kick. He's looking to go laterally to Guthrie in the cricket pitch area in the middle of the ground there. So Guthrie now looking to the outer side of the ground, and yeah, that's a good kick. Oh, the mark's been paid. Yes, it has. And it's Orlando Turner once again who kicked the long one in that led up to the previous goal. So we've got a blood rule here, I think.
And some ominous lightning in the background too, Stewie. We hope that goes around the ground.
Yeah, that won't worry us, Gray. Let's hope.
Let's hope. Yes, they're very strict on lightning rules nowadays, but you're right. Maybe the weather gods will avoid us.
So it's Timmy Eldridge with the blood that's coming off, and he's been replaced already by Coco Nicky, so play can get underway as Turner looking to go along again. He's got Pedersen on the lead and stretches the hands up, clunks a nice one out in front there, and he'll go back and have a shot, and another really important shot as we're 25.5 minutes into this first quarter. Won't be too much time left in the quarter, and if they could snatch back another one here, it'll be a much tighter contest at quarter time. He hands off, in fact, to Josiah Farrer running past, and he's a left footer from out wide there. Don't know if that was the best option, and it's floated across the face of goal. Liam Holt-Fitz again working deep back in defence and just thumps it down the middle of the ground, but it's all Palmerston here as they give it through the hands. Guthrie is dumped after he kicked the ball, but the mark was taken anyway. And it's Pedersen this time. He'll have to go back and have the shot because the siren sounded. No handing off this time as
he'll have to kick a torpedo from about 55 out against the breeze, Stewie. So
well,
it'll be a great goal
so.
if he gets it.
Yeah, it's certainly for kicking from outside 50, and comes in now. Looks like that might just fall short, and plenty of Buffalo's defenders back there making sure it didn't go through for any score. So just fell short, and Buffalo's pretty impressive in the middle parts of the quarter, Gray.
Yes, they were. They started a little bit slowly, but then Big Stafford came into the game. He took 2 big marks and then waited behind the pack and helped himself to some candy for his third goal, and a goal there to Thomas Clark as well. So Stafford has 3 and Clark 1 for the Buffaloes. The Magpies kicked the first goal of the game and had all the running for the first 7 or 8 minutes, but unfortunately they dropped away. Once Darwin used their main weapon, and that's leg speed, it looked like they were going to dominate. But to Palmerston credit, they came back with a late goal from Eddie Betts. And how much in it at quarter time?
Just 12 points.
Just 12 points.
Yep, we've certainly got a contest on our hands, and of course, Buffaloes did seem to be kicking with the breeze in that quarter. So, yeah, we'll look forward to the second quarter.
So that's it. It's quarter time here at Cazalys Arena. We'll be back shortly.
Terrific work down there by Anderson again, running inside forward, 50 kicks long towards goal. It's going to bounce all the way through for a goal.
It's a blessing because I'm born and bred in NT, lived here all my life, and to get to play with all the girls, most of them are from here, some of them are come in, but they've made their place here, and it's really exciting. I reckon it's up there. I reckon if we could get a premiership in the Women's Premier League, it would be really good, but this is all right for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honour to welcome each and every one of you to Larrakia land. May our ancestors guide and protect you always. Thank you.
And he gets the free kick, moves it quickly, Philo off a step, 50 out, long kick.
Yep,
Just sneak through. Well done, Brody Philo.
Just sort of went out there and did my role pretty much and got the chocolates in the end, I guess. Credits to the boys, to the Woodville West Torrens boys who were in the premiership last year. They're a pretty good team, hard gut running team. First quarter looked pretty hard, and we thought it was going to be in for a long day. I mean, we just grind away, and as the quarter game got on, we got the job done. Broke them open in the last quarter, I guess.
Arena for the round 14 game. Darwin Buffaloes and Palmerston. The Buffaloes in front, Stuart, by 12 points after a pretty even first quarter.
Yeah, it was Palmerston sort of dominating early, Buffaloes through the early stages of the quarter, and then, of course, a couple of late opportunities really for Palmerston, but only the one goal to Betts. But just a 12-point margin, and we reckon that Palmerston got the advantage of the breeze in this second quarter. So it'll be interesting as Pedersen grabs it out of the ruck, gets a hand pass forward as he fell to the ground, and Guthrie towed it off the ground down towards half forward again. There's a pack of players over the ball. It's held in, and a ball up at half forward for Palmerston.
Of course, Stuart, this is the last round before the rep game. We've got a men's and women's rep game next weekend in Darwin, which will be terrific. The men playing South Fremantle on Saturday night, and the women playing Claremont on Sunday night. So a big weekend of rep footy, and maybe you can get your tickets through the AFLNT and various other venues.
Yeah, it's pretty well publicised on social media and the like, so just go to those sites and see where you can get your tickets. But get down there looking for a big crowd, and it's Palmerston who, through Guthrie, gets the kick forward inside 50. The hand pass comes out to Waylon Davey here, snaps it goal, but just left it hanging out to the right and through for a behind. So an opportunity missed there, I think, Gray.
Going to say I was about to mark him down for a goal in Waylon, but it must have just skewed off to the right fractionally.
So Buffalo's looking to come near side of the ground. Jared Stokes running out of defence. Beautiful pass, finds Bowles just backward of the wing here. He chips it around the boundary line, and Coco Nicky gets on the end of that one on the right on the centre wing here. But pretty congested in front of him as he tries to kick over the top. That one's going to float out of bounds on the full, as it often does out here. The breeze comes across from the open areas on the other side of the ground and just catches the ball and floats it out. So Nason it is for Palmerston, who'll take that free kick. He kicks long down the line, close to the boundary line once again. The ball slips over the top. Moroney got his hands to it, couldn't hold it. Nicky in there tries to duck back past Elijah Ware, but got caught in the tackle and over the boundary line. So a boundary throw in once again.
Yes, not much happening again in the early stages. Some kicks down the line that haven't been all that effective to this point.
So from the throw-in, Pedersen just thumps it to the advantage of Turner here. He goes inside 50, but thumped away from behind. Ball at the front of the pack. Hand pass out from Lambton to Betts. Betts looking to find a teammate in the forward pocket. Didn't travel the required distance, was the umpire's call. So play on it is, and Buffalo's tidy up at the back and bring it out to the near side, but there's plenty of Palmerston jumpers out here as Big Pedersen presents himself and takes that intercept mark in front of Bolch. And he'll be kicking from about 50 metres out again, perhaps a little bit more.
At a 60-degree angle, but I think he's the key to Palmerston making a real impression.
Kicks going all the way to the line and just gets over. That's a great goal, and just had enough on it to get over the outstretched hands of the Buffalo's defenders on the line.
Yeah, as I said, Stuart, the Buffalo defence isn't all that tall either, and if players like Pedersen can start getting their hands on the footy, and he's got small blokes around him like Eddie Betts and Waylon Davey, they might just do some damage on the scoreboard. Yeah, well, they've now kicked the last 2 goals of the game to really tighten that scoreboard up. Just a 5-point margin early in this second quarter. So it's, Buffalo's a hard side to read. They had all the running, looked like careering away, and then they've got the brakes on again. Been that way for many years with the Buffaloes. So Pedersen thumps it forward again, hits it 20 or 30 metres straight down the middle of the ground. Timmy Eldridge in there just couldn't handle the ball cleanly on the first occasion, came back in and wrapped up Elijah Davey in the tackle, and it's a ball up once again. Pedersen this time just hooks it back looking for Guthrie, but the bounce just evaded him. Pendlebury for Buffaloes takes possession, hand passes forward to Nicky. That looked like a one-handed hand pass, and that's the way
umpire Noonan saw
Yes,
it.
yes. Coco Nicky going back to his rugby union days, I think.
So Elijah Davey will take the free kick. He's going boundary side as well, and Moroney over the top gets a fist to the ball and thumps it away from the hands of David Miles down there. David Miles, Grave. Didn't Buffaloes have a David Miles big fella a couple of years ago? Wouldn't be the same bloke, would it?
About the same size.
Yeah.
There's not much difference there, so maybe it is. Maybe he's making his comeback in a double blue jumper.
Well, he's in black and white jumper tonight.
Oh, black and white. Well, there you go.
So Pendlebury gets it out in front of Jared Stokes, but he's worried out of it by Treacy, and he's helped there by McNaughton, who hand passes backwards. The ball's fumbled at half-back by Nason, but he manages to get it back to Treacy now. He kicks long straight down the middle of the ground, but it's best read there by Stokes, Bradley Stokes, who chips it across to Pendlebury. Pendlebury has a player out wide in Coulthard. Coulthard short again, and Buffalo's building nicely. The long kick in. Bolch coming in from behind, has a leap at it, slips out the back. Stafford tries to get his boot to the ball. He does, but didn't get much purchase on it, and the Palmerston defenders came in, and I think it was Adam Parry in the end just got a toe to it and kicked it through for a rush behind.
You're right, Stuart. It was like watching the World Cup of soccer then. He tried to kick it off the ground twice and missed, and it ended up rolling through for a one behind.
So Hams brings it in. That ground just opened up there for Turner, and found himself in plenty of space. He kicks out wide here, but Eldridge committed himself and got a hand to the ball, forced it forward. Thomas Clark reaches in, picks it up, but he gets swamped on by a couple of Palmerston players, and now Palmerston trying to work it out of defence. Timmy Eldridge once again, a fantastic smother just down in front of us here, and saw the ball over the boundary line. And
yes, the boy who shows no fear
yeah.
is Timmy Eldridge. Just coming back from a serious injury as well.
Yeah, that's right. Played his 150th game last week, so he's been a great servant for the Buffaloes over the years. As Nicky gets a hand pass into Armat Watkins, he goes long inside forward 50, but Callum Groves read that one and chopped it off. He chips out short here to Guthrie at half-back, and Guthrie just slows things down on the half-back line. He's looking to go inboard now into the corridor. That wasn't his best kick, but Pedersen gets there first, couldn't control it, and now Ryan Wharf tries to avoid a couple of tackles and got a high one, I think. Perhaps a bit fortunate in the end. He looked like he was gone for all money, but got the high tackle, and now he chips out wide, has a running player out there in Charlie Lucas, who swings back round. He's going to go a long way backwards here to a spare player in Nason, and in fact it's Parry, and Parry chips out to Priest. Priest keeps it close to the boundary line on the outer side of the ground, and a solid hit there, and it's Palmerston free kick that's handed off to Guthrie, who has a leading player at half forward, Josiah Farrer. He's got a player free in the forward pocket, and that's Treacy. I think he's worked his way down the ground, and some quick ball movement from Palmerston that time caught the Buffaloes defence out of position, and Treacy got on the end of it to take an uncontested mark. Good running though.
Yes, good running and good fast hands and feet too, so that's give them an opportunity for a third goal that I think will tie the scores.
So Treacy's kick, it's working its way back on the breeze. That's a beautiful kick at goal, straight through the middle once again, and so you're right, it does tie the scores, and Palmerston, with the last 3 goals of the game now, have really worked their way back into the game.
Yes, and as you said, toward midway through the first quarter, we thought how far the Buffaloes, but they've kicked the last 3, they're the Magpies, and perhaps they've found the equation that they need. Some big, tall stuff up forward and fast movement of the football, which will beat any side if you do it properly. Yeah,
that's right. I think they've consciously decided to move the ball faster. They were chipping it around a lot, stop-start, but getting it moving quickly and giving their forwards plenty of opportunity. So from the restart, Pedersen reaches over the top, gets his hand to the ball. Thomas Clark slung there without the ball, and umpire Emma Stark sees it that way. So a free kick to Darwin Buffaloes in the middle of the ground. And Clark looking to go out wide here. That's a good kick and a good mark taken down here by Ahmat Watkins. He drills the ball inside forward 50. It bounces up into the hands of Bowles, who looks to hand pass inboard, but there was plenty of opponents in there. Bowles gets involved again, gets a quick hands out to Bolch. Bolch throws it on the left boot, kicks it high inside forward 50. Ryan Wharf reads it off hands best, gave it off by hand, and now Palmerston have worked that ball nicely through the hands in defence, and Wharf runs out now, kicks wide to the outer side, but he's got no teammates out there as Tanner Coulthard is first there for the Buffaloes. He drills it around the outer side of the ground, and Jared Stokes takes a nice mark, plays on quickly, and has Big Stafford on the lead out there in the forward pocket. And that was a beautiful pass once again to Stafford on the lead. Didn't have to break stride.
A lovely pass, hit him right on the chest. And once Big Stafford gets in front, it's very hard to get around him, Stuart. As the Buffalo, Enrique Andrews is his immediate opponent. And he certainly found the bulk of Big Staff hard to get around.
So it's pretty deep in that pocket, and swings around now, lays it across the boot, hooks it back, but not back far enough. And through for behind.
That's what I mean about this round the corner kicks. That looked to be the ideal environment for a lovely drop punt, which he's well known for, Big Stafford, but he decided on the round the corner kick.
Watch too much TV, some blokes, Gray.
I think so. Yeah, maybe I'm getting a bit old, bit old-fashioned, but the old drop punt never hurt footballers of yesteryear.
So Hams brings it in, kicks long, well outside of defensive 50 down here. Oh, strong tackle
Great
there,
tackle,
and free kicks paid, and it's Matthew Cassidy. Coulthard takes the advantage, and now Thomas Clark almost missed his boot there, just squirted it off the left foot. Now picked up by Stafford. Beautiful. On the left, a beautiful pass into the pocket, and finds Joey Collinson all by himself in that right forward pocket. He's a left footer, of course, so be his preferred side of the ground, and probably the first time we've called Joey tonight. He's hasn't had too much involvement, but an opportunity here now.
On the right side for a left footer too, Stuart.
Yep. So lead out of the square, he ignores that. He's backing himself here. He's on the drop punt. That one's going to stay out to the left, I think, and will fall just short. So hands on the ball back there as Palmerston work it out of defence through Andrews, and he finds Stephen Lampton at half back. Lampton now kicks into the player on the mark, and the ball spills forward. Eldridge read it best and now drills it back inside 50, and again a pinpoint pass as Holt Fitz sees a player free inside the corridor, and that was Thomas Clark, and quick thinking from Holt Fitz, took a nice mark and looked around straight away, saw Clark in some space and delivered on the left foot.
Yes, once they start doing that, the Buffaloes, they look $1 million, and now it's up to the vice-captain to seal all that good work with a goal.
Kicked one in the first quarter, and he's the only other goal scorer for Buffaloes apart from Big Stafford, but coming in now with the set shot.
He's hooked it.
High, he has hooked it, and it's going to just scrape in, I think. No, it's missed everything and out of bounds on the full, so ball's retrieved from over the fence, and Adam Parry will bring it back in for the Magpies on the outer side of the ground. He's going out wide out there where there's a pack of players, but ball spills to the ground. Bowles gets the hand pass out. Robinson in short, and again it's Clark who chips the ball inside forward 50. Jared Stokes made good ground from out wide, and just read it nicely. There was a beautiful pass once again to his advantage, and he ran onto that, and we'll have a set shot from 30 out.
Yes, the foot passing from the Buffaloes has been a delight. The only problem has been their finishing, and maybe the captain, Jared Stokes, can do a little bit better than his vice-captain from about the same position.
Jared Stokes, no, he's missed to the other side, missed to the right. So they've got some problems here in front of goal early in this second quarter. They still haven't scored a goal for the quarter. There's two footballs on the field, so one gets kicked off, and
But they are in front by 2 points, Stuart. But they're doing all the attacking with very little result at this stage.
That's right. And Hams goes short into the back pocket where Tracy is in some space. He goes kicked wide round the outer side of the ground. Ball's thumped forward, and now Betts gets involved, taps it back to the advantage of his teammate Nason, who hooks the hand pass forward. Pedersen just tried to tap it into the path of Betts out there, but just gave it a bit too much, I think, and knocked it over the boundary line instead. So a boundary throw in on the centre wing on the outer side of the ground.
Having said with all these misses, Stuart, that breeze would make it a little bit difficult. It's a cross breeze. It seems to be because only reason I say that is hitting us right in the face. But certainly that breeze would make things just a little bit tricky.
So from the stoppage, Buffaloes have worked it forward about 30 metres. Eldridge comes in now, gets the hand pass over the top. Holt Fitz drills the ball inside forward 50 over the top of the intended target there. Stafford appealing for push free kick there. The umpires don't see it that way, and the ball's just floated over the top and bounced out of bounds in the right forward pocket in front of the social club there, the big stand at Cazalys Arena, where a vocal crowd is often found for the Magpies. But Stafford leaps over the top this time, gets on the end of it again, tries to hook it back towards goal. It's gone right across the face. Punched away, it falls into the hands here of Treacy. He's under plenty of pressure from Bolch and leaves the ball behind eventually, and now Palmerston swoop on it again as there's a contest for the ball at ground level. Jared Stokes gets a hand pass out, and Iwali got a quick kick round the outer side, but it's Palmerston with the opportunity to work the ball out, and Ryan Wharf on the left foot kicks it out into some space, but Eldridge is going to be first here for Buffaloes. He shows a turn of speed as he dashes away and kicks it along the half-forward flank. Kyle McBean in front there couldn't control the ball, and Andrews coming over the back just knocked it away from him, saw it over the boundary line, and a boundary throw in again.
Yeah, it's a bit of a blank spot in the game. It's there's been plenty of action, but certainly nothing too significant on the scoreboard, where the Buffaloes lead by 28 points to 26.
That's right, Palmerston kicked the only 2 goals of the quarter as we tick over the 17-minute mark. So Pedersen gets in front, punches the ball forward. Waylon Davey in there, tries to get through traffic, got caught in the end, and there's a whistle blown here for it's going to be a Palmerston free kick just off the ball there, and Waylon Davey will be the recipient. Just held a bit too long in the tackle, I think, and players are a bit confused about whose free kick it is, and it is Davey in fact, so he has to come back to take the kick here. Just backward of the centre wing, he goes short to Nason, and Buffs have got him pretty well covered, although the kick comes into the centre corridor but slips over the back, and Jared Stokes tidies up nicely, looking for Bowles near side here. It's a good pass, and Bowles takes the mark now, wheels around on the right foot, has Eldridge running forward, and he takes the mark, plays on straight away, gets taken to the ground as he kicked the ball, play on's the call, and Palmerston just swing it out through the hands in defence. Pedersen gets a hand pass up, and quick kick out by Priest, just floated it up the middle of the ground really, but Palmerston still in there with an opportunity as the ball's scrambled for in the cricket pitch area there, and eventually it's Jared Stokes with the clean hands who comes out of it, but his hand pass misses the target, and Guthrie tidies up for Palmerston. He has Elijah Davey on the run forward of centre here. He's got another player running forward and chips it over here to McNaughton. McNaughton, a beautiful pass inboard, and again they got on their skates, moving the ball quickly, and it's Orlando Turner who's got on the end of this one, and he'll have a set shot from goal. He'd only be 25 metres out, I would think, Gray, on about a 45-degree angle.
And it's the Eddie Betts look-alike. He's got the same pair of shorts, I think, that Eddie wears, and about a 45-degree angle.
Turner's kick looks pretty good. If it's got the distance, it certainly has, no problem at all. So another goal to Palmerston, and they snatch the lead back late in this second quarter, and so that makes them 3 goals for the quarter, and despite all of the attacking that Darwin Buffaloes have done, they haven't been able to get a goal on the board for the quarter.
They haven't certainly put a significant dent on the scoreboard. Palmerston's movement to the forward line then very good. Usually overlap a couple of times, and as you said, a very good foot pass that set up the side's 5th goal.
Yeah, that's right. It was Guthrie that chopped it off just back at the centre there, and he really set it up with his pass to Davey, and from there they had players running forward and were able to use it going inside 50. So Atkinson and Pedersen once again. This time it's Jared Stokes swooping across the back, gets the hand pass to Eldridge, gives it back to Jared Stokes. He long hand pass forward to Armat Watkins, out to Bowles. Bowles chips along the boundary line inside 50. Bolch in front, couldn't take the mark. Coco Nicky reads the crumbs, pushes off a player, then kicks the ball into the corridor looking for Big Stafford. He takes possession, but he's tackled with the ball and it spills out, and now they're off and running out of defence as it's Turner again who chips the ball back in board, but that's misdirected, and Chris Atkinson read it nicely and chopped it off for Buffaloes. He's looking to move it quickly now. He's got players out on the outer side of the ground, and now Big Stafford just standing in space there by himself as they move the ball in quickly, and the kick from Stokes hit him as it usually does, and he had plenty of space, and surely Gray, this will be their first goal for the quarter.
Yeah, it's important he puts this one through, I think, Big Staff, and he's working on it. And guess what, Stuart? He's going to use the drop punt.
Just off the one step again. Looks like it's drifting close to that big goalpost, but he's held it on line enough, and it's through for Darwin's first goal of the quarter, and of course his 4th for the game. So yeah, as we predicted, he's been a really important player for them up forward.
And you're watching AFL and T's coverage of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season, live from Cazalys Arena in Darwin.
Into time on now in the second quarter, and that goal gives Darwin Buffaloes the lead back.
Yes, and I could hear the collective sigh of relief from the Palmerston coaches box too, Stuart. They certainly hadn't done much up until then, and Big Staff knew that, and he took a lot of time over that shot.
From the restart, Pedersen hooks it back, looking for Nason here. Nason on the left foot, swings it forward. Thomas Clark leading in the race, although coming up from half forward was Ware, and
a little bit aggressive.
Bit of strong work over the ball. So it was Lampton in there as well, who got that hand pass over the back, but couldn't find a teammate, and it's bundled over the boundary line for another boundary throw in. Atkinson and Pedersen have been going at it all night so far, and this is no different. Pedersen in front just taps it down, looking for a couple of options in front of him, but strong tackle by Pendlebury on Guthrie, and Pendlebury's got some blood, I think, so he'll have to be replaced by Armat Watkins.
Ryan Pendlebury works his way off, the brother, of course, of the former Collingwood captain Scott Pendlebury. He's in about his 4th season up here with the Buffaloes. Yeah,
he's certainly been a regular up here. He's been really good for them as well. So we're good to go now as Pedersen gets the tap down looking for Elijah Davey. He kicks it off the ground in the end, deep into the forward half. Robinson down there. Oh, skews the kick off the side of the boot, and it's out of bounds on the full, and Stephen Lampton down there to take it for Palmerston. He's looking to chip it towards the goal square, but his teammates just didn't get to the fall of the ball, and it was forced over the boundary line, and a boundary throw in deep in the left forward pocket for Palmerston. So as the clock ticks towards 24 minutes, perhaps one last opportunity to get a goal on the board for Palmerston and snatch that lead back.
Yes, we're right in the shadows of half time.
So from the boundary throw in, Miles doing the ruck work for Palmerston. Armat Watkins in there, looked to get tackled high. That's not the way the umpire saw it, and the ball's caught in underneath. I think Eddie thought he might have won himself a free kick there, but not to be as Miles hooks the ball over the top. Falls out here to Nason. He gets tackled straight away as Elijah Davey is under plenty of pressure. Looked to get a hand pass out, but umpire Noonan said he took too long getting it out, and so it's a Darwin free kick that won't get taken because the siren's gone for half time, and we've got a real contest, Gray.
Yes, there it is at half time, as you said, Stuart. We're Darwin Buffaloes lead by just 2 points, 5-4-34 to 5-2-32, and we better go through some best players before the players make their way off the ground. The Buffaloes, who are leading, Big Stafford's been very good. So is their captain, Jared Stokes, around the ball. Terrific. Thomas Clark came into the game for a while. And a big quarter there from number 7, Timothy Eldridge, out here on a I think he's playing on a wing, half-back, up and down there, doing very well. And for the Magpies, I like the game of Eric Guthrie, their skipper, Anthony Tracy, or is it Tracy?
Yeah.
Waylon Davies flashed in and out. Lampton's been very good out on a wing as well.
Yeah, that's right, and it's been a good contest in the ruck between both, and both had their moments. So, yeah, great contest here, and don't go away. The second half will be terrific.
We'll be back very soon.
Down there by Anderson again, running inside forward, 50, it's long towards goal, it's going to bounce all the way through for a goal.
It's a blessing because I'm born and bred in NT, lived here all my life, and to get to play with all the girls, most of them are from here, some of them are come in, but they've made their place here, and it's really exciting. I reckon it's up there. I reckon if we could get a premiership in the Women's Premier League, it would be really good, but this is all right for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honour to welcome each and every one of you to Larrakia land. May our ancestors guide and protect you always. Thank you.
And he gets the free kick, moves it quickly, Philo off a step, 50 out, long kick.
Yep,
Just sneak through. Well done, Brody Philo.
Just sort of went out there and did my role pretty much and got the chocolates in the end, I guess. Credits to the boys, to the Woodville West Torrens boys, win the premiership last year. They're a pretty good team, hard gut running team. First quarter looked pretty hard, and we thought it was going to end for a long day. I mean, we just grind away, and as the quarter game got on, you know, got the job done. Broke them open in the last quarter, I guess.
Getting that one in. He's looking forward to see who his options are. Joey Salmon's in there, Jackson Calder's in there. He dives for it. Jack Lance trying to mop it up, gets it over the top, and Nicky Aaron's going to run onto it and get St Mary's first goal.
Well, that was against the run of play, that one. Whole time, that's the best part. Holtz fits, shows one way, then goes the other, steps inside. He's got Stafford as the target, sliding, takes the chest mark, and he'll be paid. He's going to be kicking from just inside the 50-metre mark, and he sets it up high and beautifully, and straight through the middle does the big guy.
Didn't even look like missing, Ash.
Now they can run away with it through Thomas Clark. Clark picks out Campbell. Campbell just turns and go onto the left foot from 50. He wants to bounce it in the square. It doesn't need to, though. All clear.
The goal umpire did not even move, Ash.
It was Kieran Parnell. Plays on quickly, doesn't wait, sends it up looking in the direction of Calder. Dropping back there is Bean, couldn't take it first time. Yaron tries to soccer it through, and it comes to the older brother Lant. That's Jack Lant, who puts it through. Lant, handball over the top to brother Jack. On to Paredes. Paredes from 45 has a chance to score, and the skipper leads the way.
Yeah, well, Nate Paredes, he's been an absolute superstar for damaging he can be. Brandon Grenfell gets it out of the ruck with a big kick into the forward 50. Jack Lant just leaps on it, turns around and kicks it, and he's kicked his third goal for the day.
Yeah, and he made that look pretty easy, did Jack Lant. Campbell just taps it back inside. Cleather. Oh, Stokes with a one-handed pick up. Now this is danger for the Saints. It's picked up by Stafford. That's a goal.
That is an unbelievable pickup by Jared Stokes to make that goal happen.
Stokes. Over to Nicky. Oh, there was a big push out there from Armat Watkins.
Grace Hodges.
The question, but it's picked up by Vallejo. Gives it off to Braxton Armat. Across right foot kick. Didn't look pretty, but it came to Grenfell with a right foot snap at goal that looks good.
Well, Brandon Grenfell getting a goal for St. Mary's.
Clipped high, let go, play on is the call. Danger here, it comes to Salmon. Salmon can score from there, and he does.
Well, Nate Paredes with the quick hands there. His skills today have been amazing, just so super quick.
Stokes, Jared Stokes tried to get it. Now he's got it. The skipper can run into an open goal, and he does.
Well, that was absolutely textbook Jared Stokes. If you've watched him for the last few years, that's his bread and butter.
Grenfell in this time, and Nicky read it beautifully off the hands of Grenfell. Puts it up to the forward position where Armat Watkins takes the mark, gives a handball over to Pendlebury, who kicks the goal. Pass was okay, but it was dropped at the crucial time as O'Connell now has a bounce. Gets to 55. Lines it up long. And that's a great goal. And it comes to Simpson, who spilled eventually what he probably should have taken. Comes over the top to Hammond. Hammond's got it. Hammond's pass has picked out a teammate. The kick looks pretty good off the boot. And has gone straight through. Picks off a teammate, and that's Daniel Quinn. Quinn gives it over to another teammate, Bailey Edwards, on that goal line. The Eagles, as Bailey Edwards says, you don't actually need to put anyone there because I'm going to kick it from where I am. The pressure right on O'Connell. This is danger. He kicked a goal in similar fashion. He's going to go for goal again, this time from 65 out. Is the bounce good? Yes. Is it any good? You better believe it is. Way as Simpson took front position and then gave it off to his teammate in Boyce. Boyce just sent it forward. Now it's picked up by Butson. Across to his running Priest. Priest can run into an open goal. And the Eagles have gone from 4 points down to 2 points up. Wilson with a hurried kick high into the forward zone for the Nightcliff Tigers. Now it comes out to Hooper. Hooper with a left foot snap at goal. Looks pretty good. Round 13. Stephen Motlop. Handball back inside. Here we go again. Bo O'Connell. He's already kicked two. Has he kicked a third? Gee, he's come close. I'd say he's done it.
Yep.
Loose, can they get away with it? Priest just knocks it backwards cleverly to Bo O'Connell in a short pass. Oh, had a teammate lined up. Motlop there shakes off one with a hurried handball. Intercepted it was by Keelan Fijo, who puts it through. And the Eagles are back in front. Away they go. Gow. Just as he kicks, it's put away. Danger territory. It's in the hands of Hooper. And Hooper gets his second.
Away they go, handballing, very good Southern District. Oh, and it's a beautiful tackle, well played.
They haven't got a scorer over there yet, so they haven't been able to second anyone to go over there and do the old scoreboard.
We'll have it on. Magpies running into an open goal. No, kicks it forward, short. Onto the left boot, Josiah Farah kicks on goal. I reckon that was Josiah Farah.
Yeah.
And he's nailed it.
So,
yeah, and his dominance. Dennis, once again, knocks it down. Running hard at the football. Left foot into goal. Knows where they are. Knows where they are. Matt Shannon, he is class.
that
Running around. They just never stop. They never stop, Southern Districts. Shannon,
here we go.
Shannon Rusk has got him working beautifully and just runs into an open goal. Ronald Fijo, slick handball out, and Elijah Davey kicks it forward. Out of bounds on the full. No.
Eddie, and he plays on quickly.
Eddie Betts kicks to the top of the square. Can he kick a goal?
he's
He
kicked
can. Can he kick a goal? Eddie Betts looks like he's done that one or two times before.
Had a player on, ignored it, so they didn't have to go with the long kick.
Going for the long bomb, so it's sort of in front. Betts
Yeah, he was dragged down with that.
Yeah, wasn't a mark, but it was a free kick. You're quite right. So Betts, left of centre.
Now they left the goal square empty, so he goes for it now, and he's drilled it.
He has indeed. He's the first multiple goal scorer. I hope it's not. Kicked in by Bolton.
And bounces
I'll get my words
through.
out, and
Another
Bolton's
goal.
kicked a goal. They can do no wrong. Kicks, spears it in, but Brody Lake in the back. Picked up Palmerston Magpies, kicked on goal, around the corner, and another one, you little beauty.
Back-to-back goals there to the Palmerston Magpies.
Orlando Turner. Southern Districts.
This is their ball movement. When they go wide and then come into the 50, just that far side, this is where they look really dangerous.
They do indeed. And this Waitman to kick on goal.
I think one of their players as well just need to pick up this player for Southern District. Just come off holding his hamstring, and that's Jake McQueen.
There's a goal.
But
we've heard, and Lee Williams, we reckon, was reported in that third quarter. Mark Tagan, one grab, two grabs, not paid by the field umpire. Speaking of Lee Williams,
and he's kicked it.
runs
What a
around.
goal!
Lee Williams nailed it. He can kick him from anywhere except straight in front. Sexton has 2 goals.
Irving's there with Kirby. Football comes to the ground. Silver Youssef, quick Silver. He's going to gather the football, going inside the Pines 50, gathers, snaps. It's going, and he's kicked a sausage roll. Quick Silver Youssef gets on the board for the Pines boys there. Contest here, Darcy Hope flies, ball gets the ground, gathers himself, gives off to Blittner. Blittner snaps, check side, and Golden gets a shot on goal, and Golden gets a sausage roll.
Yeah, it's a real opportunist goal that. He only had one go at it. He grabbed it and snapped it immediately onto his boot, and it went through.
An option down the line. Sees what something he likes. He goes long to Winter Irving. Winter Irving launches and marks the football inside 50.
Yes, he out-muscled his Waratah.
He's got someone out the back here, Gray. He's going to find him, and he's found him.
And a goal.
Yep, and a sausage roll there to Alex Harvey. Great ball movement, was able to get out the back there, and he's there with the ruck contest. Who wants it the most? Cree's there, loves a hard ball. He gets it. Misses the football out, and Magro's there. Is it Magro? It's a Jaden Magro show. He's kicked 3 sausage rolls already. Great.
Yes, the East Perth recruit in his second season in Waratah.
Down the line, Pints have an open forward line here with the ball moving, getting quick, and it does. And Jet Trotter for his first look of the day, marks inside 50. Trots in. Does he like it? He does like it. So Jet Trotter kicks his first of the day, and he's one bloke you don't want to get going. And Jet Trotter for his first. Yeah. It's not much of him, but loves it. Gets in hard and has a crack every time. Finds Darcy Hope, and Darcy Hope on the lead marks.
Better Darcy.
Bit of breeze. Tars really do need this. He's got onto it. He's got onto it. And he likes it. Darcy Hope kicks the goal on the siren for his second of the day. And the contest happens. Great half by Gooch, but no. Well gathered from Smith. Ben Smith, the joint captain, we get a free kick here. What's happened? It's a holding free kick going to Winter Irving against O'Sullivan. Just like the ruck contest. And he doesn't miss. 3 goals, 2 for Winter Irving for the day. Midfielder. Will Collis, just take your time here.
He's going to kick from the goal line, so he can't miss surely.
And he's kicked it, and that puts Waratahs out to a pretty commanding lead. It's going to be really hard now in these conditions for Pints. They're going to have to really turn it on here now. Forward movement's the best movement. Trotter hits it. Winter Irving's by himself, but the kick doesn't get there. Cree with courage! Tommy Cree. Bravery personified there. Tommy Cree just goes back. No regard for his own health or safety. Still Collis through his 50th disposal probably. Yeah. Goes back to corridor to his brother because he's got to give his brother a kick. Will Collis goes deep. Doyle gets out the back. Corey Rich is going to get a lick for the ice cream, and he does.
That is the sealer. Cazalys Arena, where we've got a 2-point blockbuster. Stuart Davies, my fellow commentator, 5-4-34 the Buffaloes. Palmerston a 5-2-32. Big round 14 clash. And Stuart, with Nightcliff beating Southern Districts in an earlier game, Means there now it's a 6-point difference between 5th and 6th, so
Yeah.
Palmerston will have to win.
Yeah, that's right. And, of course, Darwin are just one game ahead of Palmerston, but so yeah, it's an 8-point game, really, isn't it, for both sides? So yes, could almost seal Palmerston's season if they can't get up tonight.
Yes, a 5 will be virtually settled, you think, if the Buffaloes get up tonight. So I'm sure Palmerston will have that in the back of their minds as they enter the second half of this game, down by 2 points. They did dominate the second quarter, kicked 3 goals to 1, but they need to continue.
Yeah, that's right. So just to explain, there's only 4 rounds left in the home and away season after this one. No one plays next week because of the rep games, of course, which we're all looking forward to immensely. But it really gets hot after that for the last 4 rounds. But Palmerston looking to get back on the winners list here as Big Pedersen gets his hand to the ball and hits it out wide. Treacy comes in from the wing, hand passes back to Pedersen, running through the middle, drills the pass straight up the ground, and Josiah Farrer out on the lead takes a nice mark on the chest, and that was a beautiful pass. Good build-up by Palmerston.
Sometimes Australian football is so simple, Stuart.
Yep.
Get the ball out of the middle and hit a running player on the chest. If Palmerston could do that every 5 minutes, they'd be miles in front.
So Farah with the set shot, kicking from 50. It's going all the way to the line. Oh, just mark couldn't be taken, and then just forced through defensively by the Buffaloes' defence as the ball's brought out to the near side of the ground, and Tanner Coulthard takes the mark at half-back for Darwin, looking inboard, but hasn't got much on offer there, so now just decides to bomb it long down the line, but Big Pedersen's working back there and takes a nice mark overhead, pretty much uncontested in the end.
Yes,
and,
but he must have heard the feet coming towards him, but still a very good mark.
So looks to chip it into the corridor, but slips over the back. Aaron Stokes there chips in for Darwin, kicks down and finds Thomas Clark here on the wing. Just avoided the swinging arm of Pedersen as he ducked underneath, and now kicks along the line out towards the boundary line here. Some good defensive work by Groves, and it's punched over the boundary line, and a boundary throw in. So Thomas Bolch down there is Groves' opponent. He's played deep in the forward line all day and hasn't had a big influence on the game so far, Gray. Would have expected a bit more from him so far.
Yes, and Eddie Betts too has been a bit quiet. He kicked a nice goal, as we spoke about earlier, but he certainly hasn't been as dominating as we've seen him.
So Bowles with that hook kick in deep into the forward
other
line.
end, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
So really, if those two fire, then we'll get some goals, that's for sure.
So yeah, we see Eddie in front of us here. Bradley Stokes with the job on him, right up in the centre of the ground, but a boundary throw in deep in the forward line for Darwin at the moment. Stafford doing the ruck work, gets it down. It's a free kick here for a high tackle, and that's going the way of Rodney Nawali as he chips it wide. Looking there for Guthrie, He plays on now, gets it back to Nawali. Couldn't handle it cleanly. The hand pass comes back to Coulthard on the left, hooks it in towards the goal square. Oh, Pedersen dropped what he should have taken. The hand pass comes out to Jared Stokes. He floats it up. It's not going to score, I don't think. A Bolch comes in over the top, claims the mark, and it's been paid. So just as we said, Bolch hasn't had much influence. He takes a nice mark there, running with the flight of the ball.
He must have heard you, Stuart. He said, well, I'll show that Davies that I can play. A very good mark.
So kicks on the way, no problem at all. And Darwin Buffaloes with the first goal of the quarter, and just stretch that lead out to 7 points. And a confidence booster there for Bolch as he goes back to take his place in the goal square.
Yes, they certainly looked a lot better then. They got numbers around the ball, and of course Bolch in the end took that very good pack mark. And for a change, it wasn't Big Stafford, it was Bolshy, and he's converted.
So we saw Liam Whelan, Noel Gray. Liam Whelan was copped that head knock early in the first quarter, and informed at half-time that he's been taken off to hospital, so
we
won't be
wish
back in the
him well.
game. Yeah. Perhaps a concussion there, so they've been one down since very early in the first quarter as Nason gets the clearance for Palmerston. They get it down to half forward. Robinson swooping across the back there. Hank gets the hand pass forward, but another headband there. Pendlebury, his numbers changed for those viewing on the screen, but the ball comes out to Josiah Farrer here. He has a shot for goal. It's going all the way. I think he's floated it through. He has just had enough on it, and some good body work on the line down there by David Miles just helped it to go through, and so an answering goal quickly from Palmerston through Josiah Farrer.
Yes, and that trusted left foot came into action then. He saw the gap and said, I'll get this one, and steered it straight through. A very good goal for Palmerston. Brings them back to within only 1 point of the Buffaloes.
So a goal each in the third quarter as we hit the 5-minute mark, and players reset in the middle of the ground. Sterling Mitchell in there doing the ruck work for Darwin at the moment, up against Big Pedersen. Pedersen hooks it back to Guthrie, beautiful ruck work, and Pedersen thumps it forward again, out into some space inside forward 50. It's paddled forward straight over the boundary line down there by Tyrone Bean, but bit of a wrestle there, not much in it, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Certainly an even contest, Stuart. There's not a lot in this. If one team can kick, say, 2 or 3 goals in a hurry, they just might take advantage.
So from the throw-in, ball knocked forward. Farrer again hooks around on the left foot, but he's hooked this one too far, and it's gone hooked all the way out of bounds on the full. So a chance for Darwin to reset from the back pocket as Kevin Moroney retrieves the ball from over the fence. Bolch, as I say, he's played deep forward all game. He's running around like a crazy person in the back line now. He's run about 200 metres, and he's got Callum Groves chasing him all the way, but in the meantime Darwin have just chipped it back out here, and Pendlebury gets it to Jared Stokes. He goes long out towards the outer wing, and it's a beautiful pass, and the mark taken by Ahmat Watkins out there.
Gee, if you're doing votes for best on ground, young Jay Stokes, number 6, would be right up there, wouldn't he?
As he is most weeks, Gray, I think, and he's on the end of this one again. He's run forward and got involved again, and on the left foot this time just gets it out in front of Stafford, and Stafford just had to jog onto that one really and hit him on the chest, and gives Darwin another opportunity. So distance won't be a problem, and just a matter of accuracy, I think.
With his trusted drop punt, he must have listened to me at the end of that last quarter, Stuart, because he's back to the drop punt, and he's about, just inside 50?
Yep. So kick on the way, but he's sprayed this one off to the right and through for behind.
Goals becoming a premium, aren't they?
Yeah. So Hams calling for his teammates to gather at half back. Taking plenty of time bringing the ball back in. He's called to play on now, and just jogs off to the outer side and kicks the ball. That's a nice pass in the end, and the mark taken out there by Andrews for Palmerston. He chips inboard to Nason. Nason goes short again, and now running the ball out of defence. That was Rust, who his kick scrubbed forward and gave the Darwin defenders the chance to tidy that up. The big kick comes back in, and Mark Spilk back here, and he's a kick into the goal square. Bolch is there again, and he's got 2 for the quarter. So just a bit untidy by Palmerston down there. Ran themselves into trouble, and Darwin pounced, and Thomas Bolch got on the end of it for his second goal for the quarter.
Yes, puts his hands up and acknowledges a teammate for that delicate little chip into the goal square, and all of a sudden they're back to an 8-point lead now. The Magpies, the Buffaloes, and just showing hints that they may be taking control. Stuart?
Yeah, that's right. As I said, just some untidy stuff in the back half there by Palmerston. Just let them in, and you know, as you said, when they were going forward with some purpose, they looked good, Palmerston, didn't they? But then let themselves down just with some untidy stuff in the back half as the restart again. Guthrie's in there. Ball out here now, an opportunity for Palmerston going forward through Langdon. He kicks along inside forward 50. Betts out there on the end of it, tries to tap it to the advantage of a teammate, but the Darwin defence are all over them and they bring it out grandstand side here. That's just a bit too hot, unfortunately, for Coulthard, and couldn't keep it in play.
Yes,
it'll be a boundary throw in.
He allowed the ball to bounce, thinking it'd bounce up, but it just kept skidding away from him. So unfortunately, they've got to rely now on their big fella getting the ball down and from a boundary throw in.
So Atkinson back in the ruck, and Pedersen thumps it from behind. Thomas Clark got his hands to the ball, couldn't maintain possession as it swings out now. Nason with quick hands gets it forward. Langton in there, couldn't control the ball. Nagawali on top of it, gets bundled over. Play-on's a call as a pack of players forms. It scoops out now. Timmy Eldridge tries to keep it in play, but wasn't able to do so, and another boundary throw in.
Timmy Eldridge looks like Lawrence of Arabia, didn't he, with that band-aid around his head, but certainly the first one at the bottom of the pack. Great player, Timmy Eldridge. Mr. Fearless.
Yep, that's right. So from the throw in, Atkinson pats it forward this time, but again, plenty of players around the ball. Pushed in the back there, I think, was Tyrone Bean for the Buffaloes, and he'll take that free kick deep in defence. Ball gets back to him now, and Palmerston have set up pretty well behind the ball here. Hasn't got much to go to. He's got a lead at half-back, but decides to go sideways into the defensive goal square. Moroney's there, and he's got a player straight up the middle of the ground, Thomas Clark, who just takes it and runs off, has a bounce, and now kicks high out to the wing. Looking for Bolch out here. It slips through his hands. Stephen Lampton at the back took possession. The ball slipped out as he was tackled by Eldridge. Eldridge toe pokes it forward and then chases after it himself. Now gets control of the ball near the boundary line. Has a bounce running inside forward 50. Kicks towards goal, but just hung it out to the left. Couldn't push it out far enough, but a great passage of play.
All it needed was a goal to complete that run down the left wing there. Unfortunately for Timmy, it just missed, but a great bit of play. And it sounds like if it sounds like I'm a Timmy Eldridge fan, you're right, I am.
So Harms almost a look-away kick then, but hasn't helped because it just fell short there, and Jared Stokes pounced and put the pressure on and saw it go over the boundary line for another boundary throw-in. So just get the feeling that Buffalo's starting to flex their muscles a bit, Gray. They just look to have control a bit more in the game at the moment. So Pedersen double fister forward. Pendlebury gets on the end of it, hooks it back over his shoulder on the left, and just sitting in the space there was Kyle McBean, who took the mark uncontested, and he'll go back and have a shot for goal.
He did have a couple of teammates who were unmarked, but he prefers to go back and have a shot. A pretty tight angle he's on.
Yeah, it's probably about his third season at Buffaloes, I think, Gray, after a long career at Waratah, of course, Kyle McBean. So set shot on the way, and I think he's just dragged that one left. He has, and another behind. So just letting a few opportunities go here, and keeping Palmerston in the game, really, as the kick goes out to the outer side of the ground, and Treacy out there, as he has been all night, finding space and getting on the end of it. But some good defensive work there by Cassidy for Buffaloes. Just thumped it over the boundary line, and another boundary throw in.
Yes, they've got that swagger about them now, the Buffaloes, so you'd think they'd start taking control. But they have to kick goals. There's no point kicking behinds.
Pedersen and Atkinson. Pedersen gets his hand to the ball and then hacks it off the ground forward, but it's all Darwin behind the ball as Aaron Stokes chips it inboard, and now they go inside forward 50 again. The ball slips over the back. Bolch is going to be first there for Darwin. He's under pressure from Goes, gets bowled over, but clever tap forward to Eldridge. Eldridge gets a hand pass back, but got slung after he got rid of the ball, and it will be a Darwin free kick. Looks like it's coming back to Eldridge here. Got a couple of players.
He's got a guy out here in the pocket on his own, and he's gone to him.
But
both of them,
Bolch ran forward and now has a shot for goal again, but he's missed to the left. So, yeah, that's those last few have drifted left, which is the way we thought the breeze would take it earlier. But the breeze, having said that, the breeze doesn't seem so strong now, does it, Gray?
No, it has dropped away. That's right.
Harms again, just chips straight up the middle and finds his teammate Priest, and Priest out wide to Harms again.
No run in the Palmerston side now, Stuart. It's all chip, chip, chip.
Yeah, that's right, and that's where they came unstuck early in the game. It was only when they started taking it on and moving the ball quickly that they really threatened Darwin. But Tracy again here, he's looking to switch the ball into the middle of the ground. But Buffaloes were awake to that. Ahmet Watkins read it nicely and chips the ball forward. Eldridge again's found space out wide here. He's got a player on the lead, and that's a good pass. Finds Holt Fitz out on the lead at half forward.
Haven't seen that much of Liam.
No.
What he's done has been reasonably good, and that's out of bounds.
Yep. Yeah, just the kick landed too close to the boundary line. Was pretty easy for the defence to get that over and out for a stoppage. So we're approaching the 16-minute mark of this third quarter. Just 2-1 in favour of Darwin. But as I said, you just get the feeling that Darwin are getting on top in this game, and Palmerston need to pull something out to get themselves back in it as the tap comes down ground level, and it's chopped off in defence. And just need some room to bring it back in. It goes to the outer side, and Guthrie's made some space out there, gets on the end of it again. They're chipping short around the boundary line, and hand pass comes over the top as they work it around the outer side of the ground. Josiah Farah, yeah, he's had a couple of bounces now. Our third bounce all the way around that outer side, works down to half forward, gets a kick inside forward, 50 now, and out on the lead was Betts. And the umpires had judged that he was being held in the marking contest, so it'll come back to Betts, and surely Eddie can get some traction for them as he has a shot for goal. He's going to go around the corner, Gray, would you believe it?
Yes, although he did do a lot of this at Carlton and Adelaide, so
he's probably practiced it a bit more than plenty of the others, and no problem whatsoever. And Eddie gets himself on the board for his second goal, and as you said, hasn't had a dominant night, but is always capable of getting himself into the game and having an influence.
But once again, Stuart, all those opportunities for Darwin, and the Magpies go down the other end and kick a goal, so back to within 5 points only.
Yeah, that's right. So 2 goals each in the quarter. It's Palmerston just hanging on, and still anybody's game as we get up close to three-quarter time here.
Yeah, it's a big last 6 or 7 minutes required from both sides.
So from the ball up thump forward by Pedersen once again, as he's done plenty of times tonight. Plenty of pressure in and around the contest. Jared Stokes' ball just slips through his hands this time as just losing his footing down there for Palmerston was Orlando Turner, and he got caught high, and then a bit of dispute. The ball got kicked away, and it's a 50-metre penalty, so that brings the ball player right down inside forward 50, and unbelievably, Palmerston an opportunity to take the lead.
Yes, after the Buffaloes must have kicked 4 or 5 behinds in a row.
Yep.
Although he's a long way out, this guy.
Having a look around, he's got a long run up if he's having a shot for goal. He's just looking for options, I think, at the moment, and he does. He looks for a player on the lead. Ball punched away by Moroney there. The Palmerston players appealing that there was a hold on the jumper, but not paid.
Yes, so it's 5 points of difference, and we're at the 19-minute mark of the third quarter.
Atkinson in front, wins that hit out. It's patted out towards the boundary line. Bradley Stokes gets on the end of it, kicks inboard, but that one's chopped off by Michael Langton for Palmerston, but his kick's gone astray, and Sterling Mitchell chips in and takes the intercept mark. Now they're out and running as the ball goes out in front of Coco Nicky. He'll run onto this one just forward of the centre wing out there, but ducks back inside, has a running player in Thomas Clark and hits him up just outside forward 50 as he slows things down. He's got a player on the lead out wide there, and that's Jared Stokes again.
That's the Buffaloes' running game, because in the blink of an eye it's gone from the back pocket to the forward pocket. And now this guy's going to go back and have a shot, and hopefully, for the Buffalo supporters anyway, put them back to an 11-point lead. And while he's lining up, don't forget you're watching AFL NT. It's presenting the 22-23 NTFL TIO season. And you're watching Palmerston and the Darwin Buffaloes from Cazalys Arena.
Stokes, long kick towards goal, but again, a miss. Left that one hanging out to the right. And a 6-point margin now as Hams will bring it in for what will be the 5th time in this quarter.
Yes, there's been plenty of behinds kicked by Darwin, and I'm not talking about backsides, I'm talking about points.
So again, his preferred option going short, and Farah again on the end of this one. He chips into the centre of the ground, but working back was Pendlebury, got his hands to the ball and now follows up at ground level. Hand passes back to Nicky. Nicky goes short out here and then keeps running and receives the hand pass back, kicks long inside forward 50. There's a whistle on the play. It's going to be a Darwin free kick, and it's Big Stafford. Yeah, it was holding. It's Big Stafford that's going to. It's Big Stafford that's going to take that free kick, and he let Hams know all about it as well.
Yes, certainly a keenly contested contest.
Yeah, so Stafford hasn't been in the action much in this quarter, but of course had 4 goals till half time and a chance to put his 5th on the board now. Just off the one step, and that's a pretty poor effort really from there.
So what's that? 6 behinds in a row?
6 behinds, yeah, something like that. That's right. So yeah, they've had plenty of opportunities, but just haven't put Palmerston away, and could come back to bite them.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous occupation. It's kicking points when you should be kicking goals.
So the ball came out wide on the near side of the ground, but no, Wally there just couldn't keep it in play, and a boundary throw in. 22 and a half gone, third quarter, 2 goals each for the quarter, so maybe a couple of minutes left to play in this term.
51 points to 45, Stuart.
So the boundary throw in falls into the lap there of Ahmat Watkins, who hooks it high inside forward 50, or the mark spilt back there, but able to recover, and the kick comes straight down the middle of the ground, but knocked forward. Robinson just a bit casual there, didn't take possession. Betts chips it forward, but well read in defence, and Darwin just chip it around here and find Tyrone Bean in the back half. Bean chips along the line, but Betts gets on the end of that, hand passes out wide looking for Pedersen. He sweeps the hand pass forward, and Lucas gets a kick forward. Miles on the end of it couldn't take the mark. Moroney working back for Buffaloes, loses his footing there and gets tackled, but tackled high, and that'll be a Darwin free kick in the back pocket. Just a little bit untidy there from Waylon Davey. So the kick comes in again, the ball slips through the hands and put themselves under pressure. Nason couldn't take it cleanly. Now coming in for Palmerston was McNaughton. He hooks his kick around and There's a bit of space out there. It's a crude tackle really, and that's a Palmerston free kick, and it's going to go to Orlando Turner once again. So Aaron Stokes just a bit untidy with the tackle, and gives them a real opportunity to get a goal on the board here.
Yes, it'll bring them to within 1 point at the last change if he can kick this.
So he's been a pretty handy player tonight, Orlando Turner, been around the action. There's one goal on the board, and another opportunity to get his second on the board as that breeze just springs up a bit in our face, and his kick just drifting out to the right and bangs into that right-hand goal post. So a let-off for the Buffaloes this time as the set shot is missed.
Certainly hit the post fairly hard. It's still wobbling.
Yep. So Bradley Stokes, as usual, brings it in and finds Bowles. Just a short pass forward of the defensive square. He sees Jared Stokes up the middle of the ground. It's amazing how many times he gets free in that sort of area and gives them an option coming out. And Darwin have worked it round the outer side of the ground now. Ball spills over the back. Atkinson out there couldn't keep it in play. And a boundary throw in again, just around from the scoreboard on the outer side, which shows that Darwin, who are the home side, have a 6-point advantage close to three-quarter time.
Still anyone's contest though. If the Buffaloes persist in kicking behinds, then they're going to have to battle right until the final siren.
Atkinson this time with the punch over the top, out close to the boundary line. Guthrie gets a kick, and now Palmerston out of defence through Lucas. Kicks long round the outer side of the ground. Ball spills forward from the marking contest and was run out of bounds, but makes no difference because the siren has sounded anyway. And just 2 goals each that quarter, and Buffaloes have stretched the margin just by kicking behinds, really, Gray.
Yes, you're right, Stuart. It's only a goal in it at the last change. And that's it. That's the three-quarter time score. Darwin Buffaloes 7-10-52 lead the Magpies 7-4-46 here at Cazalys Arena, and we'll be back very shortly.
Terrific work down there by Anderson again, running inside forward, 50 kicks long towards goal. It's going to bounce all the way through for a goal.
It's a blessing because I'm born and bred in NT, lived here all my life, and to get to play with all the girls, most of them are from here, some of them are come in, but they've made their place here, and it's really exciting. I reckon it's up there. I reckon if we could get a premiership in the Women's Premier League, it would be really good, but this is all right for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honour to welcome each and every one of you to Larrakia land. May our ancestors guide and protect you always. Thank you.
And he gets the free kick. Moves it quickly. Philo off a step. 50 out. Long kick.
Yep.
Just sneak through. Well done, Brody Philo.
Just sort of went out there and did my role pretty much and got the chocolates in the end, I guess. Credits to the boys, to the Woodville West Torrens boys who were in the premiership last year. They're a pretty good team, hard gut running team. First quarter looked pretty hard, and we thought it was going in for a long day. I mean, we just grind away, and as the quarter game got on, we got the job done. Broke them open in the last quarter, I guess.
welcome back here to Cazalys Arena, where we have a 6-point game on our hands, Stuart. Darwin Buffaloes 7-10 lead Palmerston 7-4. There's been plenty of good players on both sides. None more than Jared Stokes from the Buffaloes, and probably the big ruckman Patterson has been very good too for the Magpies.
Yeah, that's right. They've dominated for their respective sides, although Chris Atkinson's had a crack all night in the ruck, but yeah, Patterson just a bit big for him. It's got his hand to the ball a bit, but yeah, as we were saying, Buffaloes have really kept Palmerston in the game, and only a 6-point margin, and Palmerston perhaps kicking with the advantage of a slight breeze, but that doesn't mean too much in footy these days, as Atkinson wins the clearance after competing in the ruck contest. Thomas Clark tries to thump it forward, and now Palmerston through the hands. That's a looping hand pass in hope rather than directed at anyone, and Timmy Eldridge has found himself in some space out here, but just lost control of the ball. He gets tackled now and has to hand pass out into open space, and it's tidied up across the back, but that wasn't the best kick, unfortunately, for Andrews for Palmerston, and he's slewed that one out of bounds on the full as the chip comes across the top, and Pendlebury takes a mark on the wing in front of the Palmerston coaches bench. Getting plenty of advice down there as he swings on the left foot now and kicks long down towards half forward. Patterson working back, got his hands to the ball. It's spilled out the back. Joey Collinson in there, lost possession of the ball. Play on's the call as Noah Wally comes in, forces it forward. He got tackled high by Collinson on that occasion, and he'll go back and take the free kick just backward of the centre wing.
Gee, the first goal on this quarter is going to be very important.
Josiah Farrer on the lead, but good defensive work down there by Will Robinson. But now Farrer in trouble again. Got his hand pass out as he was tackled. The crowd don't like it, thought it was holding the ball. Eldridge now just a dinky little kick forward off the side of the boot, and Big Patterson's there to tidy up for Palmerston. Thumps it back out of the danger area. It slips over the back, and now Bean gets a hand pass forward, but didn't hit the target, and picked up down there by Orlando Turner for Palmerston. He just hacks it forward, bounces just inside the boundary line, and then goes over for what will be a boundary throw-in.
So no score after 2 minutes of this all-important last quarter. Only a goal in it, Stuart.
It is still that same margin as three-quarter time, and anything could happen from here. Just need a bit of luck on your side and a bit of endeavour, and Palmerston working hard around the contest once again, holding it in, and it'll be a ball up once again.
Yes, and we must bear in mind that Palmerston are probably playing for this season here. I'd say if they drop this game, they're going to be in real trouble to make it the 5.
So Mark Noonan, the umpire Mark Noonan there, says that it wasn't a hand pass, it was a throw out, and so Jared Stokes to take the free kick across half back for the Darwin Buffaloes. He goes wide looking for Collinson here. Collinson found a bit of space and takes a mark on the chest as the ball floated over Patterson's head. Collinson kicks long towards half forward now. Oh, the hands through the back. Thomas Clark swoops on that and chips in and finds Liam Holt-Fitz out on the lead. And probably the first time for the night that Holt-Fitz has got out in space like that.
Very good play, though. They went forward at all times. Clark picked up the ball, but not just that. He looked up and saw the converging Liam Holt-Fitz, who's lining up still from about 35 metres on an angle.
Oh, he's doesn't back himself. He goes short instead, and he's kicked it back to Thomas Clark, who had delivered it to him in the first place. So just a bit loose defensively. Palmerston there allowed him to break out and get on the lead.
So can the vice-captain double his side's lead? Almost 4 minutes into the last quarter.
We're right behind it here as the kick's on the way. It looks good. It's straight through the middle, and that's the goal that the Palmerston Magpies really didn't need to start this final quarter, as Darwin just sneak out to a 12-point advantage.
Yes, great play there, Thomas Clark. He delivered the ball, as you said, to Liam Holt-Fitz with a minimum fuss, then ran past him and said, I might have that back, Liam. I'm on my own here. And he kicked a goal. So All of a sudden the Buffaloes have stretched their lead, Stuart. That first goal, very important.
Yeah, it was. He said that coming in, and it is important, and now it's doubly important that Palmerston get the next one and keep themselves in the contest, as Patterson, who's rucked all day, really is in there this time. Buffaloes have made the switch, and it's Sterling Mitchell doing the ruck work as the ball's thrown up, and no real advantage in the hit-out. Bowles swoops on it and kicks out wide into space. The ball bounces nicely, picked up out there by Parry, who hand-passed it back to Treacy, and he kicks forward, and he finds the skipper out there in Guthrie. Guthrie swings back inside on the left boot, goes long down towards full forward. Big Miles down there couldn't hold on to the mark. Pedersen's involved, gets a hand-pass out to Betts. Betts chips the pass in, but it's punched away, and good defensive work as Bean gets a hand-pass out wide to Coulthard. Coulthard chips the ball around the outer side, and Matt Watkins gets on the end of it out there, and he's got a running player past him. It's Coulthard again, who's backed up and kept running forward, takes the mark now, wanders off, kicks it out in front, and Stafford dropped the mark out there, but Bowles, his teammate, swoops on it and now kicks long down inside forward 50. Bolch in the marking contest, the ball's punched forward. Jared Stokes swoops on it now, kicks towards goal, and he's a beautiful finisher. And Jared Stokes, if he didn't have the 3 votes in the bag before then, I think he probably has now, Gray.
Yes, that's his first goal for the game, and a genuine captain's goal. Ran around, got onto his right foot and kicked it right through from about 35-40 metres out. Jared Stokes, the best player on the ground.
Yeah, well, we talk about how he presents himself in the back half, but he works hard, gets forward, and gives himself opportunities like that as well. So. And
he's got a heart of a lion too. He just runs and runs. Bit like the big ruckman from Palmerston, Pedersen. That's been a real lion-hearted performance as well. Hands on hips now though. Big Cameron. He's that weariness is just starting to catch up with him.
Yeah, I think so. It's been a big effort by him, but he's in the contest again. Atkinson Pedersen gets the tap forward, but Armat Watkins with the clearance gets it to the front edge of the centre square, but it's all Palmerston back there as Farah receives the hand pass and kicks around the wing. Big Pedersen got to it, but it was at ankle height and he couldn't take the mark. Now taps it forward, and they've got an opportunity here, but good defensive work by Atkinson once again, cutting across the back there and got the ball to Cassidy, who got held in the tackle and tackled over the boundary line, so it's a boundary throw in. So just forward of the centre wing here for Palmerston, and they'll be looking for the clearances. I see Big Pedersen's come off for a spell, and looks like Farah put his hand up to do the ruck work but got nowhere near the contest as the ball on the ground, and Big Miles is in there. Waylon Davey gets the hand pass out as he's tackled. Bowles kicks it forward off the ground, but coming off the back half was Andrews, got the hand pass forward. Treacy there. There's a free kick for holding, and it's going to go to Enrique Andrews as they take the advantage and the ball goes forward, inside forward 50. Betts paddles it to himself, then he's pounced upon by the Darwin defence. Ball still loose in the forward half. Betts is around the place, gets bundled over. Ball free again. It comes back to Betts on the ground. Now attempted kick off the ground, but tidied up in defence.
Desperate defence there by the Buffaloes.
It certainly was. They got it out towards the boundary line, but Guthrie's first there for Palmerston. Chips the ball back inside and finds his teammate Ashton Hams, who's worked a long way up the ground. He drill pass inside forward 50. Hit the Buffaloes defender Atkinson, but he couldn't take the mark. Will Robinson takes possession as he's tackled, and now the ball's scrambling at ground level, and no clean possession. There's a high tackle been paid here. It's going to be a Palmerston free kick, and an opportunity for young Waylon Davey, to go back and have a shot at goal to get them back in the contest. They're 3 goals down and a crucial shot at goal, Gray.
Well, Waylon's lack of height then helped him, because the Buffalo defenders came in, but they went high as he ducked, and a chance to get them back to within 2 goals. If Waylon Davey, the son of the great Froggy Davey, and he's hit the post.
He's hit the post, so just not what they needed at this stage of the game. 9 minutes into the final quarter. They need to start making inroads on the scoreboard. But it's Darwin coming grandstand side as Sterling Mitchell gets on the end and takes that mark. Plays on straight away, kicks high down towards the wing, but well read down there by Andrews for Palmerston. And he takes the intercept mark. He's looking inboard, hasn't got much there. He's got to spare a few metres away, but ignores that. Now goes up the corridor, but that's a poor kick. And Moroney got his hands to it, but couldn't take the mark. Jared Stokes is there again, receives the hand pass, runs off with a bounce, chips the ball inside, but didn't have enough on it to get to his teammates, and Priest took the intercept mark, and now he finds Lucas Rust here. He gave off to a teammate who was under pressure. Rust comes in and makes some amends, gets the hand pass to Guthrie, and they work it through the hands now out here to McNaughton. McNaughton goes inside 50, but it's just floated inside 50, really not with any purpose. But fortunately, I think probably for Palmerston, the ball had gone over the boundary line, and it'll be a boundary throw in and a chance at a stoppage in the forward half for Palmerston here as David Miles comes in to do the ruck work.
Yes, a scoring opportunity for the Magpies as they look towards at least kicking their next goal.
So Miles in front just lays it off, looking for Guthrie there. Just missed him as Big Pedersen's back on the field and just thumps it forward. But it was Bowles at ground level, and he's been a pretty good contributor tonight as well. Gray Patrick Bowles always in and around the contest in the midfield there.
Yes, a lot more even contribution from the Buffaloes and the Magpies, although they've had the good contributors too, of course, in Guthrie and the big fellow Pedersen.
There's a holding free kick here. It's going to go Darwin's way, and they've got Bowles made some ground in the middle. Gives off by hand to Bean. Bean goes long inside forward 50, looking for Holt. Fitz picks it up beautifully on the half volley. Now swings around on the left, chips the pass in, and finds his partner in crime, Coco Nicky, in some space inside forward 50. And you would think that a goal here would almost seal it, but Holt Fitz has run on and received back again. So again, Palmerston just not awake to the Buffaloes' movement in the forward half.
He did the same thing as his vice-captain Clark, just passed off, then ran down the other end of the opposite end and got the ball back. So this will be an important goal if Liam can kick it. Of course, a two-time premiership player with Nycliffe, Stewart. So
yeah, that's right, and a Cheney medalist, of course.
A Cheney medalist, and he loves to kick a goal. He hasn't got one yet.
So he kicks on the way.
He has now.
No, he hasn't. He's missed to the left. So, goal umpire Jenny Road just had to make some ground and swung that left. So the door is slightly ajar still for Palmerston as Ham's urging his teammates to give him some movement to kick to, but they're all huddled at half back, and he goes that way, kicking to the pack of players. Pedersen's up there, the ball thumped over the back, but Darwin first there through Moroney once again, gets a hand pass out. It was a bit too hot for Thomas Clark that time as Andrews closes in for Palmerston, toes it forward and then loses his footing as the ball bounces over the boundary line right in front of us here on the near side wing, and boundary umpire Jade Fairley picks it up and will throw it back into play.
Yeah, still evenly poised this game. The next goal from Palmerston will make things interesting. So,
Davey gives the hand pass, then receives back and has someone running from behind across the half-back line. It's Treacy once again. He measures a pass inside the centre square, looking there for Big Pedersen. Spilt the mark now, gets tackled highly. That looked like a high hit as well. The umpire's seen it that way. And Charlie Lucas will take the...
Emma Stark, the umpire, jumped on that very quickly.
Has Treacy running out wide, gets a hand pass out to him. He's had a couple of bounces running towards the 50-metre line, kicks long towards the goal square, but Darwin are well set up behind the ball and easily picked off. And now Aaron Stokes makes some ground on the near side, tries to run away from his opponent, has his jumper tag, but gets a hand pass back to Moroney.
Dangerous.
And Guthrie comes in, gets a hand to it, and now Palmerston a chance as it comes out to Elijah Davey. He hooks the ball in towards the goal square, just falls short there, and Darwin again tidy up and thump it out of defence. Big Pedersen waiting though, and takes the mark overhead inside the centre square, just forward of centre. He's going to thump a barrel straight down the middle of the ground, but no one on the end of it. Betts picks it up on the half volley, gets the hand pass inboard, but misses the target now, and a chance for Elijah Davey. Has a snapshot towards goal, but working back there was Tanner Coulthard, right on the line, got his hand to the ball and touched through for a minor score only.
Bit fortunate there, the Buffaloes. Some terrific back line defence there from Coulthard though.
Oh,
there's another good smother.
It is a good smother. Some desperate stuff in the forward half, and they keep it in there, and it's out of bounds in the left forward pocket for Palmerston. 15 minutes into the final quarter. They've got to start getting goals on the board. They haven't scored a goal in this final quarter. Buffaloes have scored 2, and we're just looking at what's a bit of a delay here. We're all good to go, and the boundary throw in. It's just Chris Atkinson was uncontested there, hooked his kick around outside of the defensive area. Strong body work. Oh, there didn't seem to be too much wrong with that. Just shoulder-to-shoulder contest, but the free kick's been picked out.
Hip and shoulder at the wrong time, perhaps, when he didn't have the ball.
And Darwin work it around the wing where Ahmat Watkins takes a mark over the back and just settles things down here. He kicks long inside forward 50. It's a 2-on-1 down here as the ball hits the ground, but Bolch is the one. He takes it now, kicks towards goal. It's a floater and just scrapes inside that behind post for a behind. So
9-11 to 7-6. What's that? 20 shots to 13, Stuart, and they're 18 points. Exactly 3 goals in front.
So coming out of defence, the marking contest. It's Ahmat Watkins takes a nice mark and now plays on quickly. He's got Bolch forward, and he's found some space just at the point of the boundary line and the 50-metre line. So he takes a mark about a metre in. He's got something short. That's pass finds its way there. Only just carried the required distance, I would have thought.
Would have been just 15 metres.
And
when umpire Noonan ran in, I thought he was going to say play on, but he didn't.
So it's Kyle McBean who got on the end of that one. It would take his best from there, I would think, to score. Taking plenty of time over it. Of course, time is on their side as they hold that 18-point advantage, and McBean comes in now. The ball's swinging back nicely. The kick looks good. It's right to the line, and Bolch has got all the way down there. And there was players leaping at the ball in front of him, and he just sat behind the pack, and it fell in his lap, and he takes the mark and kicks the ceiling goal, I would think now, Gray.
Yes, that's a very good goal. A beautiful kick, though, right into the square, front and centre. Big grab and a goal, so that's what they should have been doing for most of the game, Stuart. They've been mucking around a bit, but now they're out to a 4-goal lead. It's going to be a long way back for the Magpies.
Yeah, that's right, and from the moment that I said that Thomas Bolch hasn't had much involvement in the game, he's put his stamp on the game. He's kicked 3 second-half goals and been pretty lively in the forward half and working back as well.
Yes, like I said, he must have heard you say something like that, and he certainly lifted his game and presented himself a lot better. And 3 very important second-half goals. It's virtually the difference between both sides. 24 points, and we've been going nearly or just over 18 minutes.
So Pedersen tries to take it out of the ruck contest there, but couldn't. And again, it's Bowles with the clearance for Darwin, gets it deep inside the forward 50. Bolch again lurking here, gets a hand pass back to Nicky. Nicky just fumbles under pressure down there, gets it to the boundary line. The hand pass comes back into Bolch again, but there's a bit of action on the ground here, and it's been seen by the umpires, and we'll just see what the outcome of that is. I think it's
pushing and shoving, I think.
Looks like it's going to be a Darwin free kick down here, and which is interesting because they were streaming in towards goal, but it's Liam Holt-Fitz not much in it, but a free kick, and Holt Fitz out near the boundary line once again, telling his teammates he's going to go long to the goal square. Oh, that's one of the worst kicks of all time, I think. He barely got inside the boundary line and then
tried to kick the leather off the football, and unfortunately the football went one way and Liam went the other. And just a reminder that the AFL&T is presenting the 22-23 NTFL season, TIO season, and we're live tonight from Cazalys Arena in Palmerston.
So Palmerston have worked it to the outer side of the ground, switching it from the near side, but this time it's chopped off down here by Will Robinson for Darwin. His kick just misses the target there, gives Palmerston the opportunity to close, and through the hands it comes back, and Lucas gets a kick around the wing, finds Stephen Lampton just in front of the scoreboard out there. He swings onto the left, kicks inside forward 50. Mark Spilt down there, but Darwin applying the pressure in defence, and good work get the hand pass out. Aaron Stokes is caught in the tackle there, but the tackle was high, according to umpire Emma Stark.
Gee, that's been a big strength of the Buffaloes tonight too, Stuart, is their back line. They've been very tight, very hard hitting, and certainly have chased down everything.
They have, and now a 50-metre penalty certainly won't help Palmerston's cause here, as they're just a bit slow getting the ball back. And Aaron Stokes will be marched up to the front of the centre square, and happy to take some time, look for a short option, which he does. And Bowles once again, who's had plenty of the football tonight, as we said earlier, and he's looking for a short option, just too far that time. Groves comes in, taps it forward to the advantage of Elijah Davey. He gets a hand pass up on the second occasion, but now McBean chips the pass in, but chopped off this time by Hams in defence. Hams looking to move the ball quickly near side. He's got a player out here who it was Langton, just didn't get a hand to it in the end, and now swooping through, Langton punches it forward and makes its way all the way up the back to Turner. Turner shrugs the tackle. Play on's the call as the hand went up over the shoulder. Langton again with a long kick forward out into open space. No one down there as the ball bounces and bounces and bounces over the boundary line for another boundary throw in. So we're into time on, Gray. It's going to be difficult now.
Very hard surface out here, Stuart, I've noticed. The ball bounces very high when it hits the ground and skids away. So there isn't a lot of softness there.
No, and there's a fair slope on the ground as well, so when it gets out towards the boundary line, that tends to keep going. So it's Mitchell who wins the hit out this time for Buffs, but swooping on it down here and working back inboard was McNaughton. Got it back to Priest. Priest's kick forward didn't have a lot of purchase on it, and it gives Buffaloes the opportunity again through the middle of the ground. Stokes reaches in, picks it up. He gets tackled and thrown to the ground. Still wrestling on the ground for the ball in close. It slips out the back now as Guthrie tries to pick it up and get it to a teammate, but there's a free kick been found instead, and it's going to go Guthrie's way. He's been called to play on as he feigned to hand pass, and now works onto the right boot, kicks inside forward 50. Robinson coming out, spilt the mark, and it falls to Davey here, and Waylon Davey, but his kick's wayward and out to the left, and has floated out of bounds on the full. So Darwin from deep in defence, just looking to steady as they chip it across the goal square, and Bradley Stokes goes short to Moroney in defence, and Moroney short again, but this time it's just too short. So a chance for Palmerston as the ball gets thumped back in. Eddie Betts with a high leap, gets a hand to it, couldn't take the mark, and again it's Darwin pretty settled in defence.
Yeah, they are Stuart. They're very well organised down there. They have been all night, really.
So Aaron Stokes through half back, kicks long down. Oh, Groves up early, climbed all over the back of Thomas Bolch down there, and Bolch will go back and take the free kick. Umpire Noonan points to where the mark is, but Bolch just chips it out wide here to Sterling Mitchell. Mitchell plays on straight away. That wasn't his best effort as it's chopped off by Priest, and Palmerston looking to repel from their back half. Long down the line, the weight of numbers with Darwin, but The siren goes, and in the end it's a reasonably comfortable win for Darwin Grey.
Yes, it's all over here at Cazalys Arena, as you would have gathered by the final siren and Stuart Davies' comments. So it's 10-12-72. The Buffaloes, and they've beaten Palmerston 7-6-48. So that means there's now a 6-point gap in the race for the top 5. Just go through the best players quickly too, Stewie, before we go off here. Bolch, as I said, were very good in the second half. Jared Stokes, best player on the ground by a long way. Very, very good four-quarter performance from him. Thomas Clark, the vice captain, was also very effective. Big Stafford in the first half was very good. And down back they had some very good players too. Coulthard down there was very good. So was Aaron Stokes. So that's the Buffaloes. And for the Magpies, the big ruckman Pedersen, he never gave up trying. The lion-hearted performance from him. The other guy, the captain, Eric Guthrie, was very good too. He worked hard. Limped in the first 3 quarters. And Eddie Betts for patches and Ashton Hand for patches. But in the end, it was a very, very good win to the Darwin Buffaloes.
It was, and they basically cement their spot in the top 5. Hold on to fourth place as there's no Premier League action next week. Just the representative games, which we're all looking forward to immensely. Grey.
Okay, yes, of course, it's South Fremantle on the NT men on Saturday and Claremont and the NT women on Sunday. So we'll look forward to that. And it's farewell now from Cazalys Arena at Palmerston.